Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for True Blood Season 7, Episode 8, Almost Home. And oh my god, guys, this episode was absolutely amazing. I love this episode. Thought it was probably by far best episode of the season. There's no question there. This episode was by far best episode of the season. I love this episode, was really into this episode. I mean, just so much good stuff happened on this episode. I can't wait for the last two episodes, definitely. It's going to be a great last two episodes. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fantastic from here on out. And I'm really looking forward to the last two episodes. By the way, guys, if you're wondering why the angle is different for my camera, that's because my iPad needs to charge. Because, unfortunately, I did not have it on the charger all day long. And this is the only camera I have right now. So, I have to charge on here. So, if you guys are wondering why the angle is different, that's why. But let's just get this episode because overall I really liked it. And this episode pretty much had two plots going on. We had Eric, Pam, and Mr. Gus's plot, and that connected with Bill and Sookie in this episode. But we also had Adeline, Wade, all that get resolved. So let's just get to it in this episode. So let's just get to it. So basically we see Yakonoma Corporation and Pam and Eric, they're descending upon Sarah, just like the last episode. And because, in the last episode, of course, Sarah was about to get, kidnapped by Pam and Eric. Because, of course, Sarah has the cure, and Pam and Eric need the cure so Eric can get healed and, things like that. So Eric grabs her by the throat, and for a brief second, he's about to kill her. He's thinking, should I actually kill her? And I really like that scene, because the thing is, Sarah Newland has caused so much drama and stress to all of them that I understand why he wanted to kill her, especially because the fact that, she used to be such an evil person. I can understand the fact why he wanted to kill her. I can definitely see that. So, I didn't thought that was interesting. So, the Yakuza are drawing their guns, and Pam tells Eric not to do anything irrational, grabs a gun, threatens to and basically, she threatens to kill herself, and she says, if you do, then I die. And Eric finds his wits, and instead of killing her, he feeds on Sarah. With her blood now in his system, he's officially cured of the Hep V virus. So, that's really good. He was cured of the Hep V virus. I thought that was good, definitely. I was happy about that. So, Bill and Sookie, they are in bed after their night of rekindled passion, because, of course, they just had sex in the last episode. And Sookie is asking Bill questions, thinking that he doesn't have much longer to live, of course. They're lying in bed together. And he doesn't unless he gets the cure, obviously. So, basically, unless he gets that cure, he's gonna die. So he reveals that Sophia Ann wanted him to collect Sookie because she was a fairy. And then he says that she wanted to breed her because to make more fairy offspring. And they sort of talk about the love they shared, and I thought it was definitely a very sweet scene to watch. I really enjoyed that scene, definitely. I thought it was sweet, overall. I thought that was a sweet scene. But, basically what ended up happening is, Lafayette and Lettie Mae, they're digging up in some family's yard, some of their family's yard. Oh, I'll get to that when we get to their plot. But, basically, we then see Mr. Yokonoma reveal that Sarah's blood has been successfully synthesized, and, so, they're okay now. They did what they had to do, and Pam is wondering why then it's taking so long for them to get their money and for the cures to be distributed, because, of course, the plan is for the cures to be distributed so that way everyone knows about the cure. So, he's basically telling Eric and Pam that they don't want it perfect. They want it to be a healthy habit, not a cure, to ensure maximum and continuous profit. They don't want it to be something where everyone can get. They want it to be something where they have the profit and things like that. They want to go basically at a slow pace with it. So I thought that was definitely very interesting when he said that. So basically, we then see after this happens. What happens after? Okay, Eric shows up at Bill's house and he tells Sookie that he's alright. Sookie asks how he got cured. She wants the cure for Bill because, she really wants to cure Bill, just like the last episode. And Eric isn't really sure what to do because, of course, the cure isn't ready to be distributed yet. It's not ready yet. So he's really in a bind here of what to do. He doesn't really know what to do here. And, he tells Sookie to sit tight. He'll return tomorrow night, hopefully with an answer. However, Sookie does not accept that. She wants to do whatever she can to help Bill. And honestly, I liked Sookie in this episode. I really did. I really liked her character in this episode, much like I liked her in the last episode, because just like the last episode, she's only doing this to help Bill. She is doing this because she cares about Bill endlessly. She wants to do whatever she can to provide for Bill, and I really liked that about this next scene. I thought that was just really, really good. She ends up running off into the night, and the next morning she shows up at Fantasia to speak with Eric because she is not taking no for an answer. She tells him, look, I'm not taking no for an answer. This needs to be done now. We need to heal. She tells him, what's going on with Bill. Of course, he was very surprised, when he found out that Bill had the cure, obviously, because Bill's his brother, so obviously he's upset about that. I thought that scene was definitely very sad to watch, definitely. But she wants the cure for Bill. Now, Eric isn't sure what to do, as I said, the cure's not... Okay, basically, the Yakuza have their guns out, they're getting a bit rambunctious, and Eric tells Mr. Yukonoma that Sookie was just another fang banger. And Eric says, because, Eric had, he used to have sex with her before, and Eric says that he'll glamour her to get her to leave them alone, but of course Sookie's immune to glamoring, but Mr. Yukonoma doesn't know that. Now, Eric knows that, but Mr. Yukonoma doesn't know that. So Sookie ends up driving away from Fantasia. However, she can't quiet one of Mr. Yukonoma's thoughts, which is basically revealed that they are keeping something extremely precious in the dungeon of Fantasia. There's something they're keeping, and she doesn't know what it is, but they're keeping something. So, of course, Sookie's being Sookie. She turns the truck around, heads back to the Vampire Club, and basically she finds a secret passageway into the Fantasia dungeon, and she finds Sarah there. Now, Sarah, in the meantime, she's tied up and everything. We haven't seen Sarah since the beginning of the episode. We don't actually know what they did to Sarah. Sorry, there's a glare, guys. Again, I'm filming from a different... Oh, good, it went away. She finds Sarah there. Sarah's tied up. She doesn't know what to do because Sarah's tied up, obviously. And she discovers that Sarah is the cure. This one she finds out. She's very surprised. She's like, what the hell are you doing here? And then she finds out she's the cure. I thought that scene was very well done when she found out that Sarah was the cure. Just really well done scene there. I really like that. However, she doesn't remove her from the dungeon because I think it's because she probably still doesn't trust Sarah. Even though Sarah's claiming that she's changed, I don't think Sarah's 100% changed. I think Sarah wants to think she's changed, but I don't think she's 100% changed. I think Sarah just wants to think that she has changed. I think that's what's going on here, is that she has not really changed. She just wants to think she has. So I really don't know what Sarah's future holds for her. But she later takes Bill to Sarah. Bill, of course, is dying. And she goes up to Jessica, tells Jessica there's a cure out there. Now, Jessica is very shocked to hear this. So Jessica, Bill, Eric, and Pam, they're also trying to save Bill. However, they run into each other in the dungeon before they can deliver the blood to Bill, because, they really want to, get that blood to Bill, because they know that Sookie cared so much about, Bill having that blood. They're this close to having him drinking the blood. So Eric is very angered by the fact that Sookie didn't wait for him, because, he told her, wait for me and I'll give it to you, but of course, Sookie was very stubborn about this, because Sookie cares so much about helping out Bill. That's what matters to her, is helping out Bill, and she doesn't want to do anything else except help him. That's what matters to her. So, of course, they're pretty upset at Sookie, understandably. I understand that. So Eric is, angered about that, and she didn't trust the fact that he would help his friends. So Eric tells Bill to drink from Sarah, and he's about to drink, but Bill surprisingly says, no, I don't want your blood. And that's how it ends. So what I'm thinking is that either Bill wants to die, right now, because Bill actually saw a very shocking flashback in this episode, or maybe a flash forward, possibly, of what could happen with Sookie. He saw this weird vision of Sookie holding, this child, and it horrified him. So maybe Bill saw something in the future that he didn't want to see, and maybe he actually wants to die, because not only would he be protecting himself, he'd be protecting Sookie as well. Maybe that's what's going on. Or maybe he just doesn't trust Sarah. It could be either one. I personally don't really know what it is. I can't tell you guys straight out what it is. I can't give you a straight answer as to what it actually is. However, what I think is going on is what I said, that Bill, really doesn't know if he can trust Sarah, or it's the whole thing, with he doesn't know if he can, he's afraid of Sookie. He saw something that's gonna, scared him about Sookie, and that's one of the things that scared him as well. So that could be happening as well. Really love the main plot in this episode. Really looking forward to where this goes. Oh my god, awesome stuff there. Love the main plot. Let's go to the subplot. Subplot in this episode was absolutely crazy. I love the way they did the subplot in this episode. Very well done, definitely. I really enjoyed the subplot in this episode. I definitely, really enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely really well done. Basically, the subplot had to do with Bridget, Hoyt, Jason, Adeline, Violet, Holly, and Andy, kind of wrapping up that storyline. Basically, Bridget and Hoyt and Jason, they're going through Hoyt's mama's belongings, and, Hoyt still doesn't remember Jason. He doesn't remember Jason and everything. So, Jason ends up getting a text from Violet. Now, of course, he sees that Jessica's in trouble, because, of course, Jessica got that, that sign in last episode that something bad is happening to Adeline. She didn't know what it was, but something bad is happening to Adeline. So, obviously, she really wanted to help Adeline. And as I predicted, Violet would hurt Jessica, because this is basically her revenge. So she informs that she has Wade and Adeline, and Jason immediately leaves, calls Andy, and Andy and Holly are very far away, though. They're still at the lake house, so they're not even close to where they should be, as far as where Jason needs them to be. So Andy tells Jason to handle things and get things under control. That's what he tells him to do, that he needs to handle things and get things under control. And basically, Bridget is very mad at Hoyt, just very mad at him for taking his emotions out on her, and basically she ends up following Jason, even though Jason tells her that coming with him is an extremely bad and dangerous idea. Plus, she has no idea what's going on, so I'm just thinking, Bridget, you have no idea what's going on. This is a horrible idea. I thought Bridget was going to get it in this episode. I thought Bridget was going to die, because Bridget's not a huge character. She's not a main character. She's not a character we've ever seen before. We've never seen Bridget before. We've seen Hoyt, Hoyt's a big character. But Bridget is not even that big of a character, and knowing the show's ending, I thought Bridget was going to get it tonight. But, basically, Jason arrives at Violet's mansion, and I love the way they did this scene. He is looking around for a campfinder. He gets out of the car, but Jason gives Violet a gun to protect herself. Jason gives Bridget a gun to protect herself, basically in case something bad happened. I thought that was a good idea that Jason did. Goes into Violet's house, and very creepy music is playing. I thought that scene was definitely very, very creepy. Which makes her already creepy mansion even creepier, and his gun is drawn, and he steps through the house looking for Violet, remembers that she's the only reason, the only reason she's acting out like this is because she's mad at Jason for getting back with Jessica. She thinks he betrayed her, basically. So Violet sneaks up on him, and she says that nobody has ever betrayed her, that she has brought some of the most powerful men in history down to their knees, and she says once she's allowed someone inside and close to her, nobody has ever wanted out. So she locks Jason up in a room beside Adeline, Wade, and Jessica, and just this woman is absolutely crazy. I was like, oh my god, I fucking hated Violet in this episode. I really did. I hated Violet in this episode. I'm not afraid to admit that. So she goes on and on about how they'll torture each other and every one of them. Very weird ways, definitely. Like, one of them was to, like, burn Jason's dick off, break Adeline's tits, just really weird shit going on there. I thought there was some very weird stuff that she was talking about. Everything seemed really painful. Most of it had to do with, like, destroying people's private parts. That's really what was going on there. So, she finishes her little speech about how all she wanted was for Jason to worship her, and before she can actually do something, there's Hoyt, and he shoots her, and I was like, yes, Hoyt saved the day, he killed Violet. Now, at this point I'm thinking, alright, that was kind of too well done. It seemed like too close of a call. However, I guess they had to move that storyline along because there's more that needs to happen, obviously. Now, Jessica, of course, she does not know that Hoyt is back in town, so Jessica's very stunned to see Hoyt, as well as his girlfriend Bridget, because she didn't know that Hoyt was back in town, obviously. So, basically, Wade and Adeline, they are reunited with Holly and Andy, who have come to find them there. And Andy thanks Hoyt for saving the day. Jessica also thanks Hoyt for saving them. She introduces herself, but of course, Hoyt, because, again, Hoyt does not remember any of his friends in Bon Temps. He does not remember anyone there. And, again, I don't know why he doesn't remember everyone. I'm sure we're going to find that out eventually. But, he does not remember Jessica, so he doesn't remember her. So, basically, we get actually a really nice scene with Jessica. I thought there was a really sweet scene between them. I'll talk about it in a second the scene that we saw. But, Bridget finds Jason and asks if Jessica is his girlfriend, and Jason says that he's not really sure what's actually going on between them. He really doesn't know what to call Jessica, because they had one little fling. That does not mean they're back together. And I like that Jason isn't really putting labels on anything yet. He doesn't know yet, and I think that's the best thing to do, really. If Jason, is doing that, that's the best thing to do. So Hoyt shows up for breakfast, meets with Jason, and Hoyt says that he loves Bridget, but there's something about Jessica they just can't shake. He really likes Jessica. He's actually in love with Jessica. But here's the thing, I really like Jason and Jessica. I really want to see them get back together. They had a lot of chemistry in this episode. There was a very sweet scene with them in this episode. But unfortunately, what ends up happening is Hoyt ends up visiting Jessica, brings Bill a bag of fresh Hep V, which is negative blood, and Jason told him all about Jessica's situation, and, maybe Hoyt and Jessica, maybe they will be getting back, maybe they'll get together, I really don't know. I mean, he really seems to like Bridget, but he definitely likes Jessica as well, so now we kind of have a love triangle going on, which I really like. I like that the show is definitely doing that. I think it's really cool. Nothing I thought the show would, do, and I think it's really cool the show is doing that, definitely. But I really enjoyed that plot, though. It was definitely very well done. Really enjoyed, that plot. Probably, definitely really great stuff in there. And the only other thing to talk about is Tara. Now, Lafayette, Lettie Mae, and Tara's storyline, I've not been so keen about it, personally. I think it's just been an okay storyline. Tonight, they handled it perfectly. I love the way they handled it in tonight's episode. Because we actually saw flashbacks of Tara, and I really like that. So, Lafayette, Lettie Mae, they dig up some family's yard in an effort to locate someone that they think Tara's trying to show them. Of course, last week we saw them starting to do this, but it was that little girl. That's all we saw last week, which I thought was weird, definitely. So the Reverend comes by and apologizes to the family, and Lafayette assures him that they're not high and that Tara is desperate to lead them to something. They're not high at this point. They're pretty sure that they know they're not high, because Tara's obviously trying to lead them to something. So James eventually shows up, and the Reverend thinks that this must be their supplier. They're thinking that he's thinking that James is giving them drugs, which he kind of is. He's giving them blood, so he's kind of their supplier. So Lettie Mae asked the Reverend to come with them on their V trip, just to show that they're not crazy, telling them that sometimes you have to take a journey, even if it's a blind one. And James gives his blood to Lafayette, then to Lettie Mae, and then finally to the Reverend. They all reunite in a vision in the vision world, and they end up seeing Tara there. Surprisingly, they see Tara. And they follow her into the family's house. The family looks at them like they're crazy, basically, because the family has no idea what's going on, obviously. They think they're crazy. So we then see a flashback, and I thought the scene was really well done. We see a flashback to a time when Tara, Lafayette, and Sookie were little. It's Tara's birthday party. Tara's dad comes home and is very furious to Lettie Mae throwing a birthday party with his money, so he ends up getting very abusive, and so he got very abusive, and I thought that scene was just really well done. And basically what ends up happening after that is we see Tara, the Reverend, Lafayette, and Lettie Mae experience the vision flashback of Tara's dad abusing Lettie Mae. We see young Tara with her dad's gun. She points at him, though he doesn't see her because he's too busy. She's about to pull the trigger on him, and she thinks about pulling the trigger, but she doesn't, runs out to the yard to bury it in the garden. And this is what Tara was trying to show them, was the memory that she almost killed her father. So they venture out to the yard, they see adult Tara in a white dress staying there, and she says, "I'm sorry, I should have pulled that trigger long before that day." And, she feels very upset that she really wished she would have, and they have a very touching moment together. Tara eventually tells her mother to forgive herself and to let her go, and Tara wants her to promise that she'll move on and stop living a life filled with guilt and regret despite the unfortunate life she's led. So I thought that scene was just really well done, because Lettie Mae, obviously, she's led a pretty bad life. She's been very regretful, very crazy. Most of the show, we thought Lettie Mae was basically a nutcase, and this is kind of the first episode where she didn't seem like a nutcase, and I really like that about this episode, definitely. Thought that was definitely very, very well done. Love that about this episode. that's basically it for my review of this episode. I absolutely love this episode. Thought it was a great episode. Now, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Why doesn't Bill want Sarah's blood? Is it because he saw something that he's trying to protect Sookie from, or is it that he just doesn't trust Sarah? I think it could be both of them, personally. I think it could be, both things. But I personally can't give you a definitive answer because I don't really know what's going on there. I really don't know. I can't give you guys a definitive answer as to what's really going on there. As far as Jason and Jessica go, now we kind of have this love triangle. Is Jessica going to be with Jason or Hoyt? I really like her with Jason. I would like to see Jason and Jessica together. But of course, Hoyt really likes her as well. Also, why does Hoyt not remember anything? We still don't know why, and I'm very interested in seeing why. What's gonna happen there. Now, of course, the other thing that I need to talk about is what is going to happen with this Tara storyline. What else do you think is going to happen as far as Tara goes? Lettie Mae definitely needs to let go. She definitely needs to let go, and I think these last 2 episodes are going to focus heavily on her trying to let go of, the bad things that she has caused, Definitely, I think that's going to be very interesting to see, and I'm really looking forward to watching that. Really love that about this episode. Thought that was fantastic. But again, I don't really know what's going to happen in terms of the Bill and Sookie storyline. I don't know if Bill's going to die, if he's going to live. I kind of do have this theory, though. Bill and Sookie both don't drink the blood, or we could have like a Titanic thing where Bill drinks the blood to protect Sookie. She meets him up in heaven. I think that'd be actually a very good ending. I know that seems really cheesy, but I think True Blood could definitely pull that off. True Blood's a very sentimental show. Even though it's a horror show, it's a very, emotional show as well. And that's one of the things I love about True Blood, and I feel True Blood could definitely pull it off if they do that. But we have 2 episodes left, and that's really sad, because I'm really enjoying the show, and it's sad to see it go, but we only have 2 episodes left, and I really feel that it's going to get awesome. Really love the Violet conclusion tonight. Very happy that's over, because I hated Violet. I hated her after this episode. Again, I understand why Violet was upset. I'm just not happy in the way she was doing it. But that's it, my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be my review for Witch the V-Stem, which I will, which, by the way, guys, the rest of my reviews will be up tomorrow. Big Brother, unfortunately, but if you're wondering why I didn't review that yet, that's because it was delayed for me. They had this stupid golf game on, so I did not get a chance to review that for you guys. That's probably going to be one of the last things I watch, guys. I'm sorry, but I started watching it, but I figured, you know what, I gotta review True Blood for you guys, so I decided to. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. That's it, my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in my next video. And, yeah, see you then. Again, sorry the angle is bad. My app had a charge, so see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.